空に帰るあなたの姿を
What else can I do besides avenge you?
涙が枯れるまでずっと見つめていた溢れる悲しみは消せない傷跡に忘れはしないと誓った折れた翼を羽ばたかせ全てを消してみせよういつの日か終わりを迎える最後の鐘が鳴りやむまで
You told me to live as if you like that, but I'll fail not.
Oops. Alright, what's good, folks? It's been a while. It's Dark Dre 19, you know? And we're back with another What If. And this What If is, I believe, what if Deku was Godzilla's reincarnation? Part 1. Okay. So yeah, let's start this. So yeah, we start this story, this little story in the past, you know, like in the past, like fucking dinosaur ages or some shit. Cause you know that's where I decide. I know that's not really where Godzilla came from and shit, but you know, I'm just gonna put it there. So yeah, in the past where you know the cult, you already know that you know. Back in the days, Godzilla and Mothra and all them other fools, they had their little religious and cults and whatever, and all that. The people worship them, King Kong, all that bullshit. So, you know that I'm not really making this shit up, even though I technically am. But yeah, I'm gonna say that the cult of Godzilla and the worshippers of Mothra are right now watching their gods face on King shit, I don't know how to pronounce this fucking name. King Ghidorah, something like that. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the three-headed dragon nigga, that guy. So yeah, whatever. And since Godzilla and Mothra are the kings and queen of the monsters, their worshippers would live together. So yeah, they're close compared to the other people who worship their whatever god. As the battle goes on, the leader of the cult of Godzilla and the leader of the worshippers believe that you know their gods were not gonna survive this battle, as King Ghidorah fires his lightning beam at a injured Godzilla being protected by Mothra, using her wings to block the beams, you know. But you know, I'm gonna do this as the movie did it, as even though I haven't seen it in a long time, but whatever. But yeah, King Ghidorah's little beams would shoot through Mothra's wings and eventually hitting her, and it would, you know, kill her, which would anger Godzilla. But you know, as she dies, her little essence or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Anybody who's seen the movie probably knows what I'm talking about. Anybody else probably don't know what the fuck. But whatever. her essence, her powers would be absorbed by Godzilla, which, would boost his strength and power as he would fire his ultimate atomic beam. I think it's atomic beam, not atomic blast. But yeah, his ultimate atomic beam or pulse or whatever that would kind of blow up from him, and it would be like in the shape of Mothra's wings or whatever, and you can like hear her little screech or whatever it is. I don't know. But this would kill King Ghidorah. Fudge, I cannot pronounce his name. But here's the thing. By, using all of his power with that one blast, Godzilla would fall as his body would disappear. And, alright, here's where things get weird. This isn't really a part of the lore or anything. I bullshit, because, I'm making this up. I'm completely making this up. So yeah, Godzilla and Mothra are dead. But as their bodies would, kind of decompose or whatever. Well, Mothra's body technically already kind of decomposed. But as Godzilla's body is decomposed, whatever, it would leave a black and blue spear. A small black and blue spear, while Mothra would leave a light and blue and greenish, maybe not that blue, but kind of greenish. I'm trying to mimic the colors I saw from the movie. But yeah. She leaves a light greenish spear as the spears would flow to their respected leader, who would take them with them and show it to their cults. As the leaders would already know what's happening, as this already happened before. As they need to wait for the spears, they tell their followers that in order to have their gods back, they need to wait for these spears to finally mature before allowing them to be kind of swallowed by a mature, healthy man, so that power, not that power, but the essence of whatever god could go to their reproductive system, as you could say, and to be able to insert that DNA inside of a mature, healthy woman, where that woman would give birth to finally give birth to their god. Trying to keep that as PG as possible. I mean, I don't really care. I'd say it. Nigga stick is. Let me stop. But let me get back to the story. But yeah, that's explaining that they are explaining that the listeners, the worshippers in the cult would be satisfied, as they would wait as centuries would go by, and the leaders would pass their knowledge to their children, as their knowledge would go to their children's children. You know what I'm saying? It would keep going and keep going, waiting for these the spears of their gods to finally mature. As time goes on, the Mothra worshippers would kind of leave the cult of Godzilla, as they would take their spear of Mothra with them. Though the groups are separate, they are still, close. But, as time goes on, quirks would finally be introduced into the world, as we are finally in the My Hero timeline. But this would actually get worse for the cult and the worshippers, as All For One and a bunch of other villains would hear the stories of these titans and how much power they have, because there's cave paintings everywhere. A bunch of cultures already saw them. It's just how it is. And with a monster with the power, with a monster the size of a building, with the power to that can easily topple a city, of course All For One and a bunch of other villains are gonna want that. But yeah, this would actually force the groups to get a bit smaller for them, so they can hide better. And some of the members who would develop strong quirks would actually go and become heroes, just so they can keep their eyes on the top tier villains who would want their god's powers. But let's move on to where it's been so long, as the groups are kind of ready to give up. Some of them don't even believe that these Godzilla and Mothra people even exist, that they're just special looking special looking spears. And to picture the spears, I haven't really said anything. Picture how materia kind of looks like. Y'all know what the materia looks like. I'm sure some of you guys do. Probably some of y'all don't even know what I'm talking about. Look up materia. They're cool. Or look up proto-materia. That's from Dirge of Cerberus. I liked proto-materia. That shit's cool. But that's besides the point. But yeah, some of the members are starting to believe that these guys never exist. And some of them believe that, they're probably never going to see their gods ever again. But in the nick of time, the two spears would glow a extreme bright light, as the leaders would know that that they have finally matured. And this would excite the two leaders, as they would go to inform their members of the great news that that their gods may return. But they still need a, mature, middle-aged, healthy woman, as they could use a female in their group, but I gotta find a way to bring Inko in this story. I mean, how is it? I gotta find a way to bring Inko in this. Like, how is it gonna be Deku without Inko? So yeah, let's get a little dark with this. A little dark, as a abused Inko has a beer bottle thrown at her head because her husband, Sashi, I think that's his name, blames her for the miscarriage of their baby. And you know, the miscarriage happened 3 years ago. 3 years ago, as Inko has been suffering at the hands of Hisashi. Yeah, I think that's his name. As he would, you know, be calling her, you know, horrible things. Like a slut. Saying things that the dead kid was probably someone else's, because you know, no kid of mine would die before they were even born. Hell, it was probably quirkless, which is why it died so easily. All thanks to you useless bitch. Yeah. I don't like, you know, I laugh at this because this is bad, really bad. I mean, I don't want to do this to poor Inko, but you know, whatever. As he would say these horrible things as he throws another bottle at Inko's head. But what they didn't know while this was happening, that, you know, there was actually a hero watching over them on the, you know, on top of a building, as this hero would actually be a part of the Godzilla cult. As he would, you know, be looking through the window at the poor abused woman and the douchebag of a man saying, okay, small apartment, really shitty husband, sad wife, okay, this might work. As you know, the hero would make his way to the apartment building, as he, you know, begins to knock. And Hisashi, after getting himself another bottle, would, you know, would finally open the door, as he would come face to face with the hero. As the hero would you know, see Inko on the ground, bruise and all, and then look to Hisashi saying, this don't look too good for you at all, as he proceeds to arrest Hisashi and help Inko. And help Inko out. As, you know, she would, you know, thank him from the bottom of her heart. Seeing the hero as, you know, some white knight or some bullshit. Knight in shining armor. No, not a white knight. Knight in shining armor. The only white knight here is. But yeah, let's keep it going. As time goes on, the hero, who is dressed as a normal, who is now, dressed as a normal civilian, would often visit Inko. And Inko, she's not dumb. She would recognize him from the arrest, but she would keep it to herself. And, they wouldn't often spend a lot of time together. The hero would treat her way better than Hasashi ever did. I keep saying, sorry. Yeah, sorry, I said it again. But yeah, he'd take care of her, treat her right, as they would, they would start to grow close to each other. Eventually, let's say maybe like a year or two would happen. And during those years, they would be dating. The hero and Inko would finally get married. And we already know after marriage, you do the deed. So yeah, I'm gonna say time skip. As well, no, not yet. They won't do the deed yet. Well, I mean, yeah, they would, but not really. Shut up. Forget what I said. Time skip. As Inko, she would actually be a bit about having another child, because the hero would often be talking about having kids. Having kids would be good. Having kids would be good for the household. The next generation and all that bullshit. But Inko, she feels that if she does the deed, have another child, and this child might also ends up dying, and the new husband would be mad at her and probably leave. So she's often been dodging the idea of sex with her husband, but she can't really herself when this is walking around her house almost every day. This is pretty much walking around her house. She just can't handle herself. So let's say one night when the hero was ready to finally go to bed, he finds Inko wearing something special for him. As the hero, shocked, but kind of excited, as he knows what's about to happen. But before he decides to go in, he heads straight to the bathroom, as he would a certain spear, as we all know, the spear of Godzilla or whatever, the shit I just made up, as he swallows it. And the energy with pulse and all, getting all his reproductive system and all that crap as the glow would go away, and he's good. So after that, he makes his way and starts to smash Inko like there's no tomorrow. Night of Passion. Finally. Finally. As they would go at it day by day, night by night, and all that crap bullshit. So yeah, I'm gonna say time skip. Another time skip. Fair warning, there's gonna be a lot of time skips in this shit. So yeah, we are in the hospital with a much happier pregnant Inko ready to give birth to her child. And the fact that her husband, who is the leader of the cult, if I didn't say, well, technically I said he was a part of the cult, but now I'm gonna say that he's the leader of the cult. And he was so happy when Inko told him that he was gonna be a father. Just made her even more happy to have this child. And and she truly believes that this child will not die like the last one. So yeah, time it would go by as the baby is finally ready to come out. The doctors finally ready to come out. Doctor seeing the head and the leg and all that crap as he picks up the baby, who is not crying. A baby with yellow eyes and is a bit bigger than a usual baby, but not too big, but big. As they would towel the baby off, put him in some fresh whatever, wrap him up, and hand him over to Inko. As Inko would look down to her child, Inko and the husband would look down to their child. The child would, look up to them. Not really. No, that's not how babies work. Well, that's kind of how anime babies work. Regular babies would not be looking up at you. Real babies would not be looking up at you. They're not functional enough, and they'd probably still be asleep. But as we've seen with fucking anime, oh no, the baby got a full head of hair, or can understand what everything you're saying. Already smiling just when he got out. But that's besides the point. Because let's move on to where we are finally with a 10-year-old Deku. Yep, a 10-year-old Deku. And I'm gonna say that 10-year-old Deku looks like what you see on the screen, just a bit smaller and shorter hair. Of course, he will look as you see on the screen when we get to the beginning of the anime, but we're not there yet. But yeah, a 10-year-old Deku with an uncaring stare is right now in the principal's office being yelled at because he decided to defend himself against Bakugo and some of his goons, and by I mean defending himself, I mean some of them are in the hospital. As the principal would say, why the hell would you break one of those kids' spine? Some of them won't be able to walk anymore. As Deku looks upon the principal with the most whatever look in his face, and he's like, don't give me that crap. Don't. No. Oh, sorry. He says, I love the fact that you complaining about that instead of worrying about a kid who was jumped by 10 other kids. As the principal coming up with the comeback saying, don't give me that crap, Izuku. We already know how powerful your quirk is. So there was no need for all that, Deku. Jesus Christ, I slammed one of them through the floor, Deku. What is wrong with you? As Deku be like, I'll say it again. Jumped by 10 people. As Inko and her new husband, would finally come into the office, Inko would rush to son as she would pull him to her chest into a tight hug. As the husband would be like, see, I told you, Inko, Izuku's fine. Anyway, what the hell are we doing here? As a principal would be, be mad. Mad cause he ain't looking good as Deku. Fucking sure his wife left him for a sexier man. Let me stop. But the principal say, your son beat up a bunch of students, putting some of them in the hospital. He needs to be punished. As Deku looks towards to his mom, saying, Ma, this asshole is punishing me for being attacked by Bakugo and his dipshit friends. As Inko would be like, first of all, language, honey, and second of all, if what he says was true, then it's not Deku's fault. He defended himself, and you plan on punishing him for it? As the principal, tired of hearing all this defiance, would just say he'll be suspended from the school for a month. Now go. As Inko would just be pissed off at this shit-eating grin principal. But she just keeps it to herself. Because she has her emotions in check. And she would, just take Izuku's hand as she would just walk out the office with her husband. As the husband would have a tired look on his face, but on the inside, he's pretty much, pretty excited that his son was so strong to take on 10 kids with pretty decent quirks, But, what is a fucking quirk gonna do against fucking Godzilla? So yeah. During the month, Deku has, been training with his powers under his father's watch. As the father can see that his son shows the same rage and destructive power that the god that he heard in the stories, because it's been decades since Godzilla's been gone, and all he's seen is heard stories of the destructive power that these titans have. And seeing, and how can I explain this? Let's say that you know how Goku can shoot his Kamehamehas into the ocean, and that shit would split the fucking ocean. That's pretty much what the husband sees. He sees, his son as he would charge an atomic blast, hair glowing, doing that whoom 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 shit. That badass joint when Godzilla charges his atomic blast, as the hair would glow and spark up even more, and then he would just fire that joint with an epic roar, as this was just straight up split the ocean. So look, Dad, I'm Moses. And I'm bringing the Jews. Let me stop. But yeah. But as these things would go on, the father would finally say to himself, the king of the monsters is truly here, and he's my son. And now, I believe he should meet his queen. So, let's say 1 week before Deku's allowed to go back to... school, his father decides to take him to a park where he knows that the leader of the Moth tribe is here. Well, the leaders. I'm gonna say that, the leaders. As they would be at the park. Deku would not understand why he's here, because Deku, he hasn't grown up as a normal. I mean, he grew up as a normal kid, but he never acts like a normal kid. He never really plays the hide and the seek or the tag and the playground with the swings and all that jazz. He always keeps to himself. He never really cared for that stuff. You know? He's just a... I don't know. You tell me what you see on the screen and think of a personality. I'll think of a personality as I keep going with this story. So yeah. While in the park, the father would look towards Deku and tells him that, yeah, I know you don't care for playing all that much, so you can chill here for a bit, and I'm gonna speak to one of my friends over there. So, yeah, you stay here. As he just walks away from Deku, and Deku just, he just stands there, just looking at all the kids playing kickball and whatever. As Deku would just decides to just look to the sky, as he would be doing this while, until something actually catches his eyes, as he would see a few boys who are, a bit older, let's say like teenagers, around this one girl, as these guys are, trying to impress this girl, impress her, but she seems to not be paying any attention to them, as Deku, not knowing why, would just walk toward them, as he would keep feeling a familiar energy as he gets closer. He gets closer. And as he's walking towards the boys or bullies or whatever the fuck would notice this and decide to just get up all in Deku's grill. As the first bully would be like, "What do you think you're doing, kid?" As Deku looks up to him saying, "Well, it seems that she's not interested in you guys. Yet, you guys are still around her. Especially since it seems that you guys are like teenagers, while she looks like that she's the same age as me. And I'm 10 years old. So what the hell you creeps think you're doing?" As Deku would just straight up stare down the teens, as this would just piss them off because Deku won't leave, as one of them would actually try to take a swing on Deku, but as the teen lands a punch on Deku's face, it only breaks his hand. It only breaks his hand, and as Godzilla, with the Godzilla instincts kicking in, Deku would only see this as a challenge. Deku never steps down from a challenge, as he just begins to beat the crap out of all the teens. One of them thinking they have a strength quirk, so they can easily take Deku down. Nope. That dude tries to, swing on Deku. Deku swings on him. Their fists would impact, as as the bully's hand would break, but he didn't really have time to scream, as Deku would straight up boom hit him in his head, knocking that bitch to the floor. And one of the bullies would try to run, but nah, Deku would quickly get in front of that fool and straight up drop kick him. Just drop kick his ass, because that is one of Godzilla's moves. You'll never see them in these movies because it looks really stupid. But in the other joints where Godzilla was kind of a kid's show, yeah, that dude could drop kick. A giant monster drop kicking looked goofy, but a human drop kicking looks badass. So yeah, Deku drop kicks that fool into a tree, knocking him out. So yeah. So after giving that ass whooping, Deku would look to the girl, who would just look at Deku and kind of give him a confused but interested look, as this would pique Deku's interest, as he would give the girl a hand, picking her up from the floor. And as they come face to face, they would stare at each other for so long. The girl didn't notice that her wings are starting to wrap around Deku. Deku wouldn't really notice this either. But before they can actually say anything to each other, Deku's father would call him over, as it is time to go home. And Deku obliges, listening to his father, as he would wave bye to the girl as he makes his way to his father. The girl would be saddened to watch him leave, as she would walk to her two mothers. Yep, she got two mothers. Is there a reason why there's two mothers? Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. I don't know. That's up to you guys. Maybe it has something to do with that twin thing that Mothra be having. Maybe it doesn't. Whatever. But yeah. Another time skip. And we are finally at the beginning of the anime. How long has this been? I can't really tell. We are finally at the beginning of the anime, where Deku is 15 and he is in peak fitness and at top of his game. I don't really remember how old he was. I don't really remember how old he was in the actual beginning of the anime. And that isn't really I'm not really giving you guys an opportunity to tell me his age, because I don't really care. I'm gonna do random ages, and I like doing 15. I don't care if he was like 14 or 13 at the beginning of the anime. He's 15, and he looks like how you see on the screen. Looking fresh as hell. So yeah, Deku at the top of his game, and pretty much the top of the class. Or not even just a freaking school. As Bakugo, who hasn't learned his lesson from the many ass beatings he would get from Deku, would still call himself the strongest, as he would always challenge Deku and lose. And you know, nobody in the school would, you know, or class would really care about Bakugo's little rants about he's being how he's the best and how he'll be the #1 hero. And that Deku looks more of like a villain than a hero. But you know, they would pay no attention to this as their attention is really all on Deku and how amazing his quote-unquote quirk is. But they don't know what it's called, as they would, you know, always ask Deku like what his quirk is, but he would never answer. You know, usually staying silent, not really caring, as you know, for some reason people would find this cool. I don't know, they're just weird. But yeah, the teacher would come in with the papers, you know, talking about saying that, you know, you guys need to start, you know, thinking about your futures. And these little papers right here is gonna help you do that. But he decided to, you know, just throw the papers in the air saying, nah, I already know that all of you want to be heroes. As the class would cheer using their quirks and, you know, whatever. Bakugo wouldn't actually have his little rant about, you know, being the top dog and how everybody's like a D-lister or whatever, as he would mostly be staring at Deku, angry at the fact that he can't beat Deku in a fight, no matter how big his explosives are. And no matter what, he would fail every time whenever he gets in a fight with Deku. But yeah, the teacher would read out the one who were, you know, going to UA, as he would say, Koski Bakugo, you know, with the smug face saying, yeah, I'm going to UA. That's right. And the teacher would be like, and Bakugo would be like, and as the teacher would say, Izuku Midoriya. As Bakugo, hearing this, would be livid, like saying, and as he looks, saying, Deku, are you serious? Do you really think they would accept a villain into UA? I mean, look at him. He's a prick. He's evil. I mean, just look at him. As some of the classmates would be like, I don't know. Deku was, you know, his personality and attitude kind of seems like Endeavor. And he's the #2 hero. So I'm sure Izuku wouldn't be a villain like you say, Bakugo. one of the classmates defending Deku. As this was just, piss off Bakugo more. So, let's say, when school is over, Bakugo and some of his goons would confront Deku. As Deku would just sigh, say, Bakugo, how many times are we gonna do this? Please get the hell out of my way, or you're going to be hospitalized again. As Bakugo would be like, you cannot join UA, Deku. They won't accept someone like you. Oh, and why wouldn't they accept someone like me, Bakugo? Or is it something else? Are you just afraid? Afraid that me being there will mess up your chances? Do I threaten you that much, Bakugo? As Deku would, step up to Bakugo. As Deku's height, I'm gonna say that, he's taller than Ida. I mean, he's a tall boy. He's tall. Not like huge, but not like really, really tall, but he's definitely taller than Bakugo. So yeah, he pretty much, I'm gonna say that compared to height, Bakugo literally can only reach his chest, Well, not reach his chest. His height is near like Deku's, chest. I'm gonna say that. But yeah, Deku saying that would kind of step forward in Bakugo's direction, as Bakugo would, kind of flinch at that. As he's like, just stay away from UA, or you'll regret it, Deku, stupid nerd. As he just walks away with his goons. As Deku would be like, whatever, Bakugo. Jeez, I don't have time for this. I need to get back to my house so I can do a bit more training. And yeah, Deku saying that would just make his way outside of school, to his home. And Deku wanting to just, find a shorter path to his house would take a shortcut going under or into like a little tunnel. And as he's going under this tunnel, he wouldn't notice that, under a manhole would open as sludge would come out, attacking Deku. As Deku's animal-like instincts would alert him, as Deku just dodges, rolling away from the sludge. As the villain be like, "Kid, I'm gonna need that good-looking body of yours. I didn't know the freak was in town." As Deku be like, I'm not into that. I'm not really into that. As glowing tattoos, let's say like glowing light tattoos will form across both of his arms, as you see here. As the sludge villain would, it's, you know, a few tendrils would try to attack Deku, but Deku would easily dodge them. As Deku would, you know, would kind of throw a punch at the sludge, as it kind of seems that it's doing damage, but Deku only sees that he's just going through the sludge villain. And he's like, physical attacks won't do much to you, huh? As he just easily dodges, you know, the sludge-like tendrils. As the sludge villain's like, stay still, you little brat. As, you know, just throwing more tendrils at him. It's like, I need your body. It's like, they be like, I don't think so. As he just finally backs away from the sludge villain. And he's like, physical attacks won't do much towards you. Fine, let's see you survive this. As the radiation glowing blue from his hair would kind of creep up, as it's like, you know what I'm saying? Would creep up. Little lightning sparks would come off of him, as his hair would spike. And when that's done, Deku would let out a roar, as a huge atomic blast would hit the sludge villain and straight up kill him. Yeah, straight up kill him. I mean, Deku's Godzilla, and Godzilla catches bodies. So yeah, Deku would straight up kill the sludge villain, not even leaving a trace of his existence. As after that huge blast, All Might would finally come out of the I think he was also in the manhole cover, maybe, but whatever. Might would finally come in saying, I am here, and all that crap, as he only sees like a kid just standing there, as he jumps down in front of him saying, oh, sorry kid, sorry to interrupt you, kid, but have you seen a villain around here? As Deku would just stare blankly at All Might, saying, no. As he's All Might's like, oh, well then, kid, see you later. As All Might could, you know, kind of tell that Deku was lying, since he saw that the area was a bit damaged, but his time limit was, you know, kind of getting to him, so he needed to leave. And, you know, Deku, happy with his victory against the sludge villain, would just go home so he could train for the rest of the 10 months of UA. Or, not really train. I mean, he's gonna train, but he's also gonna mostly study, because he's already extremely strong. So yeah. The last time skip. The 10 months are over. Because I'm not going to waste my time with that. And, the sludge villain's already dead. So he wouldn't attack Bakugo. And All Might having no reason to stay there, or, kind of leave to deal with his time limit thing. And, because of that, Deku doesn't really get one for all. So, yeah, whatever. Yeah. The 10 months are over. Did I say that already? No, I think I said that already. That the 10 months are over. Deku at this point is more than ready to take the entrance exam. As he would, get ready, saying goodbye to his parents as he would make his way to UA. Walking with, a lot of authority, just authority. It's like, if you were to come face to face with him, this would be like, I'm not going to get out of your way. You're going to get out of my way. You know what I'm saying? That kind of authority. And I'm gonna say, nah, I'm not gonna go over his personality. I mean, I think you guys can already get the picture of what he's like. So yeah, as he's walking, Deku is, he's finally getting close to you, but when he finally got close, he would feel a familiar energy. Inside the building of UA, which was a bit distracting him. Wait, that makes no sense. What the fuck sentence I just used? Which was a bit distracting him? Did I really just say that? Yeah, I really just say that? I feel stupid. I'm sorry. That was the most dumbest sentence I ever said. Which was a bit distracting, not which was a bit distracting him. That was so dumb of me. I'm sorry. But yeah, this little distraction would kind of mess up his footing as he would, begins to fall. And yeah, Deku not really caring, because he already knows this fall is not gonna hurt. But at the last second, he is saved as he begins to float. And he kind of wonders why he's floating as he looks around until he comes across a blushing brown-haired girl, as she would be like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to use my quirk on you. You were just about to fall, so I decided to help." As Deku's like, "It's fine. It's fine. Thanks." So, can you put me down? As the girl would, like, oh, put both her hands together. As Deku lands on his feet, saying thanks. As he reaches his hand out for a handshake, because Deku he's respectful. He's been raised right. As the girl, the brown haired girl, we already know, Ochako, would take his hand. Take his handshake as she would look into Deku's cold yellow eyes. As Ochako would just turn red. But, before she can really say anything, Deku would just, walk away, not wanting to, be late for his test. And this only makes Ochako more of Deku's attention. But, Ida, I'm gonna say that Ida would actually be seeing all this. And he would he see this and judge Deku by his appearance, and he believes that Deku is nothing but a delinquent so as the Great White Knight, he'll get rid of this criminal, quote unquote criminal. So yeah, I'm gonna say first day took the writing test, whatever thing, and Deku passes it. Sorry. Deku passes it. I'm gonna say that, he was second, below Momo was first, I guess. I'm gonna say that. And, when they got to the other room where President Mike is explaining the robots, Deku would be feeling the energy again as he would start to look around, only to finally make eye contact with a girl he seems to recognize, as the girl would also look Deku's direction, and they would stare at each other for a while, as Ochako would kind of see this and get a little jealous. Ida, he would still have his little rant about the fucking robots and saying that, oh, you didn't talk about the 0 pointer, blah, blah, UA, you're supposed to be the best school. I can't accept these failures. I can't accept these failures. I'm Ida. I'm from the Ingenium family, whatever. I'm top tier, clearly. You need to treat me right. As he just keeps complaining. Then he would point out Deku, and only Deku, saying that he needs to stop creeping on that girl and pay attention. As Deku, hearing this, would kind of get angry, as his hair would start to spike up and glow as he stares directly at Ida. But, President Mike coming in for the save, saying, okay, you two, settle down. We're about to start this soon. So President Mike done with his speech thing, whatever. They would be in the waiting room, that little waiting room, as, Deku would be standing by himself, as he usually always is, as he would wait for this test to start, until he sees the same girl with beautiful patterned wings and all at the front, Deku decides to walk over there so he can finally speak to this girl until Ida just gets in the way, sticking his hand in front of Deku, saying, not only you're a creep, you're a scoundrel. As I can see, you plan on messing with that girl, trying to sabotage her. How disgraceful. As he's doing his dumbass choppy motion shit. As Deku, he's just tired of dealing with this guy's crap, would just straight up, boom, punch Ida right in the stomach. As this would, shock Ida as his glasses would fall off. He would be holding his stomach like, oh, as he lands on his knees. As the students who saw this would be shocked at the amazing strength that this guy has. And, after that little punch, Deku would just walk to the front. As he would finally come face to face with Mothra again. So, the Mothra. There you go. Mothra, yay. Wait, no, sorry. And, before they would speak with each other. And they would, speak to each other, telling each other their names and all. And both of them not wanting to talk about the quirks that they don't have. As they would, kind of grow close as it seems that they have a lot of similarities to each other. But, they're gonna have to talk later because the true exam is about to start. As the doors would finally, open. And Deku who was being way too excited, would just dash out there. As one of the students be like, "Hey, that guy's cheating. He didn't go at the start or whatever the fuck." As President Mike saying, "No villain will be waiting for you to start. That kid has the right idea. So you guys should follow suit before he takes out all the robots." As Deku would already taken on would literally dome through 7 robots already. And Mothra, not wanting to be showed up or whatever, would, spread her beautiful wings as the people would be memorized as he would take off. She would take off much faster than Deku. And we already know, Mothra is extremely fast. But I think she can break the sound barrier, right? I don't know. I need to look up a bit more facts about Mothra. But right now we're focusing more on Deku. As he's just like a wild animal, just destroying these robots tearing arms off, bashing their heads in, fucking slamming one into the other. As the teachers watching this are amazed of this kid's strength. And All Might, recognizing that kid from a while ago, would continue to watch. I wonder if y'all heard that. Maybe not. Would continue to watch as a robot would try to sneak attack, hit Deku from the back of his head, but all that would really push Deku a bit forward, as the robot's arm would straight up break, as Deku would turn back, boom, with a right hook, taking down the robots. As he's straight up getting the most points. And Nezu, seeing this, finally thinks that, maybe it was time to finally bust this one out. As he, pressed the big red button, as Deku is just right now destroying more and more robots, breaking them in half until he kind of hears the screams of people running away, as he looks where they are running from, only to see a giant robot. And all this would only excite Deku, as he just decides to go charging in. The students would be like, "What is that idiot doing? He's gonna get himself killed." As Deku is just running straight at the zero pointer like a fucking maniac. As the zero pointer would go to, kind of punch Deku, but Deku would, easily jump up on the zero pointer's arm, running up the arm to its head, and then punching it as kind of falls and hits a building. Deku landing on his feet, as he would straight up grab the zero pointer's leg, and let me remind you, Deku has Godzilla strength. So yeah, Deku would straight up grab the zero pointer's leg, and if any of y'all played Metal Gear Rising, where Raiden straight up picked up the Metal Gear Ray and threw it across the city. Well, he didn't really throw it across the city. He didn't throw it that hard. He threw it like kind of across the road they were fighting on. But I'm gonna say Deku picked up the zero pointer from his leg. Well, pulled it from its leg and boom, threw it across the fake city. As the teachers and the students seeing this type of strength would be shocked and amazed, as the zero pointer would crash into a bunch of fake buildings, as Deku would finally be ready to finish this thing off, as as the energy would flow from his hair as it glows and glows and glows, and it's like even brighter. It's like an even stronger glow, as not tiny sparks, but straight up kind of like electricity. As you see on the screen, more like a bit of electric, but more like smoky flames. But yeah, Deku would, as he charged it up, and when he's ready, his yellow eyes would glow blue as he fires a huge atomic blast, looking like a Kamehameha wave, Kamehameha in this bitch, shooting that atomic blast as it straight up hits the 0 pointer, disintegrating that fool, blowing him up. The heroes truly amazed as Deku, gets his bearings together. It's like, that was easy and fun. As he's like getting too excited, and as he's getting really, really excited, he just decides to just let off a beastly roar. The Godzilla roar, if you know how it sounds. As this roar would kind of create shock waves a little bit, blowing back the students. Not like they're not flying, but this would, kind of move them back a little as he let off this, extremely loud roar, because he was getting way too excited. It's like, but yeah, basically after that little roar, that Godzilla roar, let me not say, little roar, that Godzilla roar, President Mike would finally say that it's over, that the test is over. And Deku just walks from the testing area, as he's being praised by some of the students. Some of them are praising him, some of them are extremely jealous. Ida is pissed, and Mothra, who saw this is blushing, as that roar seemed so familiar to her. So yeah, as Deku is making his way outside of the exam area and leaving the school, Mothra would actually come flying in front of Deku, as her speed would truly would amaze Deku, as he himself knows he's not as fast as that. As they would, look towards each other a little bit, and just decide to just walk together. As Deku decides, just to walk in his head, to just walk Mothra to her home. As they don't know why they seem so close to each other, but we as an audience, we know why. They just don't know it. But I think that's where I'm gonna leave this off. You know? I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for listening. And goodbye. How do I?